Thomas Webster is a decorated Marine, an NYPD police officer of 20 years, a family man, and a patriot. He's a proud father of 3. He served his country in the 1st Battalion, 6th Marine Regiment. Tom is known as a cheerful man, a respected pillar in the community, and he's known for his love of family. Tom was a decorated infantryman with 3 overseas deployments, receiving a slew of medals, ribbons, and commendations. Tom was a decorated NYPD officer who trained hundreds of recruits and served in prominent positions. And he's going to jail for 10 years for assaulting a police officer on January 6th. Tom turned down a plea deal. He was provoked and there was video evidence to prove it. So the government withheld Capitol camera footage until 1 week before trial. On January 6, 2021, Tom Webster attended his first ever political protest. At 2 p.m., he arrived at the Capitol, and he went over to the West Terrace where the crowd was told that there was going to be a speech. As Tom walked closer to the protesters, the reality of the situation began settling in. We're being attacked by our own country. We're being attacked by the police. We're being attacked by people that we back, and they're attacking us unprovoked. So you're walking around and you're seeing women crying, you're seeing fully grown men crying, praying to God. You're seeing people running around wiping their eyes with tear gas in their eyes. You're seeing people who can't breathe.
God damn it, we need them. Let's go, fucking shoot it! Go, shoot the fucking...
The smoke grenades started coming down. The rubber bullets were shot. The tear gas was burning. People who are covered in blood, who have rubber bullets in their face. This is what you were walking around witnessing in actual disbelief. Women being shoved, women being pushed, kids crying, people being beaten by police, people running around with blood on their faces. He was watching his fellow Americans literally being bombarded with grenades, with tear gas, with pepper spray, with rubber bullets, all of these being peaceful protesters. He sensed the terror around him, and it was almost like he felt he had no choice but to walk up to that gate. At 2:28 p.m., Tom Webster walked up to the police line in complete disbelief. Webster approached the barrier to voice his First Amendment rights. The officer reacts with aggressive shoving instead of de-escalation. The officer looks up at Webster's Marine Corps flag. Webster does not expect the officer to start pushing him. After looking at Webster's flag, the officer initiates contact. The officer pushes Webster. The push can be seen from several camera angles. The officer lunges over the barricade. The officer reaches over the police barricade, lunges, and pushes Webster multiple times. Several pushes can be seen at various angles as the officer lunges over the barricade. Frustrated by the officer's repeated escalation of physical contact, Webster pushes the bike rack. With a deliberate wind-up, the officer punches Webster hard in the face with a gloved hand. Webster said that the punch hit like a freight train and he was seeing stars. The officer testified that he attempted to push Webster's shoulder and slipped, hitting his face. Webster then reacts to the hit in self-defense, swinging his flag at the rail gate, never making contact with the officer. The officer crosses the gate to re-engage Webster. Webster's backed away from the police barrier and he reacts to the officer coming towards him. Webster waves the officer to stay away. Webster believes the officer is after him. The officer crossing the gate rail and grabbing the pole away from Webster. This officer initiated the physical contact. So Webster said he feels the crowd moving forward and feels pressure from a red-hatted man behind him. Tom testified that he felt the need to defend himself. The officer rams the flagpole twice into the side of Webster's face and mouth. You could see the pole in Tom's face. Webster says he pushed up the officer's gas mask, but he did not strike him. The officer provokes, taunts, pushes, and strikes Webster in the face. So the officer testified that he did not make any hand gestures. The officer testified he didn't punch Webster, and he said that his hand slipped. This police officer didn't even file a police report, and that he doesn't even remember the situation. The judge called it a touch, but when it came to the police officer punching him in the face, it was just a touch. Thomas Webster is your typical American hero, decorated Marine, 20-year police officer in New York City, unblemished record, and he's going to jail for 10 years for assaulting a police officer on January 6th. These are, people that are here to stand up for the Constitution, for voter integrity. The type of guy who, law enforcement, military, that have a certain type, masculine, that have a certain type of mentality, that aren't afraid to stand up to the government.